I mean, sure, let's just do user authentication right now. Now, add user authentication. Each user will be able to register, reset password. So register, use Supabase for confirmation email. What will the redirect be? Maybe you can just do the preview URL. So when they click confirm email, it redirects them to the preview URL here. Use Supabase for confirmation email. I'm thinking for redirect URL in the email link. Just use, because I don't have it deployed yet. Maybe I should just publish it. Use cool. I'll just use this URL. It's generated a URL here. Cool. I'm thinking for redirect URL link, just use this URL. Reset password. Okay, so we have confirmation email, reset password. That's it really. And create a new table in Supabase for these users. And just by the way, we're doing, if you guys missed the first episode, we kind of have like a foundation, and today I'll just be adding user authentication. So allowing users to sign up, register, reset their password, and they'll register via confirmation email. And then after, I'll try and finish off the core features and just refine them a bit more. And yeah, that's it for today, basically. What problems? But yeah, let's go ahead, sign in. Let's just do my personal email. Okay, well, sign up, not sign in, sorry. Let's do testing. I want to confirm password. Yeah, add a confirm password field, Google password. Then obviously in Supabase, you can set different rules. So, you can set rules like it must be at least 8 characters or include a special symbol, but we don't need that for now. Okay, cool, let's add that. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, and you see it's already sent out the email to me. I didn't have to do anything. It was literally just one prompt. And then you just go in here. Maybe we can see the redirect URL here. It should be the one I mentioned, I specified. Okay, it's yes, it's redirected us to the URL, but because I've not published it, it's still, I need to update it. The older version, I need to update that. Okay, so now it's redirected back, and it should have stored that record in a user table or profiles. Yeah, there we go. Why am I not seeing sign up here or login? Oh, there we go, sign out. Yeah, okay, cool. So user has been created. Let's just try reset password now. Reset password. So forgot password. Zach, check your email for the confirmation link. Did I already send it? That's odd. No, I need to confirm. Send reset link. And it'll redirect, hopefully, to a pop-up that allows us to reset. No. Okay, so we don't have a reset password pop-up or page, so I'll have to create that. For the reset password, when user clicks on the link in the email, you don't have to specify what email, it already knows. And when user clicks on the link in the email, make sure you redirect to a reset password page. And then if this doesn't exist, because I don't think it does exist, if we look up here, No, I don't think it does exist. If this doesn't exist, please create it to allow the specific user to reset their password, to reset and update their password. Then it redirects to this. Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to update that, publish it. But yeah, let's do this again. I'm gonna have to publish this, update every time. That's frustrating. Cool, reset your password, reset password. I should redirect to reset password. And then there's an access token. I don't know if you guys saw that. There's an access token in the URL, which that access token is specific to that user that's requested the reset password. So that's why they use like a unique identifier. London, cool. Testing. No, that was our old password. Let's just do testing. Update password. So password has been updated. So let's try, I'll try the old password, which was just testing. Nope, it doesn't work. Rightfully so. And cool, it works now. So that's reset password done. Okay, well, I'm just going to go ahead and build out the other core features. If you guys don't want anything specific, if you guys don't have any questions there, so just sign in again. Nope, this one. What does this update do? I'm not sure. It's added it by default. Remove the update feature. The chat assistant is essentially, once the PRD is generated, the actual file that you saw right now, we can then change the tonality, for example, of the entire document. If it, for example, if you read it and you're like, I don't want to give this to my client, it doesn't sound very professional, then you can use the chat assistant. Instead of having to regenerate a new PRD, you can just use the chat assistant where you tell it, okay, this is good, but some of the sections don't sound professional, or you might want to change the tone, and you just say to the chat assistant, make it sound more professional. It will then update all this text in the sections because we have it saved here, our PRD, that PRD that is just generated right now, it's saved right here. Now this, okay. Also I have to do something else because this was done without user authentication. However, we want to make sure that a PRD generated by a specific user is tied to that user account. You don't want it tied to other user accounts. So let me just prompt lovable, make sure that the PRDs that are generated and stored in the PRDs table tied to the specific user that generated the PRD. So that means that they're going to have to be logged in also to generate a PRD. So what was the onboarding port? Yeah, okay. Dating app. Okay, cool. Yeah, so they can't do that. Yeah, they can't generate the PRD without logging in. That's fine. It's not a big ask. But I'll show you the chat assistant right now, what it does. Yeah, so you see, it's not capable of of tying it to a specific user because previously it was set up without users. So it was just randomly storing the PRDs without tying it to a specific user because we didn't have our user table or user authentication. So what we can do now is, we don't need these. We can just delete all of them. Is it doing that now by default? No, we can just delete them. Don't need them. Yeah, it's connected to OpenAI. I actually thought, because I saw that maybe we can do this later if there's time. We can actually try to hook up some of the new reasoning models that are available via the API. OpenAI, maybe try to use chat assistant with reasoning model. And the chats, you can even store the chats here in Supabase, in a table in Supabase called chat history. So every time you're reprompting it in the same session, it will look at the previous chats, it will consider them, and then it will inject those into the prompt when it queries OpenAI. So maybe we can even do that. We can add that later. It's always good to have context, previous context. Chat history feature for Okay, so it's chat history feature for considering previous messages. So what did I do here? How is it tying share token user ID? Oh, cool. So this user ID you see here, it should be the user I'm logged in now as 8C71. Let's see, 8C71. Yeah. So yeah, for some reason it's like all the previous documents I've generated, it's so associating it with the account I'm logged in now as. So which is fine. It's not an issue. So let's just play around with the chat assistant. I don't like the tone. And the cool thing about the chat assistant is that you can also specify, hey, I just want you to change the tonality of this section here. Just copy and paste. I don't like the tone of the. Or one way I like doing translations because it's more obvious that it's actually worked. Okay, translate the overview and product vision section into Italian. And I hate it. I have to. It doesn't work with enter. But yeah, whatever. I don't know why it answers in Italian. That's so funny. Okay, you see that? So it's like translated the first section into Italian, and these are all still unchanged. It actually would be cool to have a feature that just undoes that also. Yeah, I'll write that down. Undo chat feature. And also it shouldn't reply in Italian, but maybe there should be like a master prompt where I essentially say you always have to chat in the English language. So what else was I going to do? Oh yeah, we're going to do chat history. Now for the for the chat history, that means it has to be the chat history is created or will have to be unique to every user, and also they will have to be unique to every PRD. So then, because obviously one user can have multiple PRDs, and if they save a PRD, that means we're going to save that chat history. And if they then come back to that PRD later in time, that means then the chat assistant feature will just pull that PRD chat history from Supabase, and then it would just consider it whenever you're working on that specific PRD. So maybe I should write that down and we can add it in. Save feature must save specific PRD for each user, and then consider chat history for that specific PRD. So obviously, let's say if a user has 2 PRDs, you don't want the chat history to be the same for both PRDs. They have to be separated. So okay, let's now for the save feature. Okay, so once the user saves a PRD by clicking the PRD save, by clicking the save button. Okay, well, it's already doing that here. What we want to do is store the chat history here. So we're going to store all of this. I want to store chat history in the PRD refinement chat feature. So I'm going to store it in a Supabase table and tie it to a specific PRD, which is this one here, so that when the user logs back in and decides to, and also there's going to have to be, for users, they're going to have like a page where they can view all their PRDs and continue working on them after. Create page for users to select the PRD they saved and want to continue working on later. So, okay, so that's so that when the user logs back in and decides to work, okay, so untie it to a specific PRD so that when the user logs back in and decides to work on their saved PRD, this isn't great English, but whatever. If they start to use the PRD refinement chat feature, it will look at the previous conversations it had and use them when prompting So essentially what I'm saying is when the user asks new questions into the chat assistant feature, it's going to look at that previous conversation history and consider that when it prompts. Although I don't think it's super necessary for this use case. If you're doing things like changing tonality, it's not as if you have to know what the 5 previous messages were. But I don't know, let's just add it when prompting. Let's just see what it does. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm just going to add like a little, like a little profile thing here, like face thing here. And then they'll just click on account, and then it will have all their saved PRDs. Chat messages. I'm just going to refresh it. I bet you it's completed the prompt. It's just being stupid. Yeah. And let's just get our other prompts ready. Now, have a user account page with a face emoji top right corner for when users are logged in. So I'm just saying right here, there's going to be like a face, like every basically app, there's like a face emoji thing. You just click on it, and then it'll have an account option, and logged in, user account with a face emoji top corner for when users are logged in. And in the specific user's account, they will have the option to view and work on saved PRDs. Okay, so we asked it to store chat history, and so we've got our chat messages table here. Now, before I test it, I just want to add so, oh my God, why has it done that emoji? Jesus Christ. Don't use an emoji. Just use a empty profile picture. Jeez, that looks so silly. Oh, cool. Okay, cool. So yeah, we're in our profile personal account now, and it's got all these saved PRDs that we've generated, and they're all dating apps, by the way. So that's why it's got all these funny names. Match mingle. So yeah, so now the reason why we've done that is because if we log out, if we save a PRD, we then log out, we want to be able to go back into that PRD, maybe make some tweaks, whatever. So let's just open and edit. Let's see what this does. Cool, this is our Spark match. Okay, but I think we should only store it if we click on save. It seems that it might be doing it automatically. So as soon as you generate a PRD, so yeah, so that's just going to allow us to, it should really only save the PRD when we, in the Supabase table, when you click save, not when it generates it. Yeah, otherwise you have to think that you're just going to be consuming space in the table. There's no need for that. And also when you click an account, you saw that there were a lot of PRDs generated. We don't want that. We want to keep things minimalistic and simple. So let's just do the PRD should only be saved in Supabase if the user clicks on the save button, not when it is generated. So yeah, we just like want to, not and just avoid unnecessary consumption of resources, especially when you're using buckets in Supabase to store images and video. You want to get, and you're loading that on the front end. Lovable is not great at doing that. If they're like really high quality images. Create page for users. Just like, okay, we've done that. So we have our account page, and maybe also on the account page. Now, why is it not showing the account page here? Okay, show account page also in the generate page. So I'm just saying in the header here. So show account page link also in the header in the generate page. And then I think in the account page, we can add like the reset password link also. And in the account page, add a reset password feature. Any other features you guys suggest for the account page? I mean, it's done it here on the left, but it should be on the right. It needs to be the link rightmost of the header. Also, yeah, I've noticed that when you ask the agent to do, let's say, 4 or 5 separate tasks, it does not do a good job. So it's always best to just give it 1 or 2 very specific tasks. It's like if you give it 4 or 5, In some cases, it just ignores all of them completely, which is frustrating because you end up using prompts and tokens, which you paid for, but it's like literally just, it's not made any changes. Okay, cool. So it's moved it over here. And you have a reset password feature. So it should delete. Did it delete that? Connecting data. Connecting data, whatever. Okay, cool. Yes, it's done that. So what else are we going to do? Let's just test out the. I want to test out the chat messages. So in here, the chat assistant, I want to test that it's actually, if I log out and log back in, it's going to look at that previous conversation that I had previously, and it's remembering it and it's injecting it into the prompt. So I also have to mention here to the chat that when I'm engaging with this assistant here on the right, again, the previous chat messages that are generated, they're all going to have to be injected into the prompt here when I ask it again. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but I'll show you guys. Maybe it makes more sense. When a chat history is generated and saved for a specific PRD, and the user then engages again with the PRD refinement chat, that specific chat history needs to be injected and considered in the new, how would I say it? In the new prompt, in the new message. It needs to consider when the user interacts again with the PRD refinement chat feature. Please update the prompt to achieve this. And then a way of verifying this is also you can just ask it to show you the prompt it's actually used or generated and show me the final prompt. And it should be, and when we look at the prompt, you can also look at it in the edge functions in Supabase. When we look at the prompt, it should have something that it says, please consider this previous chat history when answering this question. Any questions so far? Or is there anything you guys would like me to do, which is like, kind of in theme with what we're doing right now? Okay, cool. So it's showing us the final prompt here. You're a senior. So it's actually giving it a persona, which is good. When you're prompting, you always want to give it a persona. Because if you're going to say, hey, you are a junior in experience, whatever, then the output is going to be tailored to that context, isn't it? To that persona. Blah, blah, blah. So look here. Previous conversation context, and then it's going to inject that chat history in here into here, this variable here. It would then consider it when it's answering questions that a user has given here. So I want to test that it's actually saving the chat history. Hey, let's just say translate all the PRD to Spanish. Cool. Zero speaks Spanish. Is this correct? Hopefully. Now, if we save, I don't know why it says update. It should say save, which is annoying. It should then save this in chat messages. Oh, I see what it's done here. It's like broken it into multiple different rows. So there must be. So there's a PRD ID, which is then associated with a PRD, and you don't have to. If you can see here, you don't have to add a user ID here to tie it to a specific profile, because this chat history is already tied to a PRD ID, and a PRD ID, as you can see here, is already tied to a user ID. So, these are all they all work together. There's no need to have like a user ID here. Although, it's just a bit weird that it's not added in as one big blob or row, because I'm thinking if it's going to inject this into a prompt, how is it going to do that? Is it going to do it in the right order? I don't know. I guess we'll just have to trust it. Let's see. Actually, let's ask it this. What did I ask you to do in my previous query? And I want to click sorry, there's just like a quick fix that I need to do. Yeah, it's just frustrating. Okay, what did I ask you? Okay, cool. Let's see what it does. Because it should remember, based on proof of constitution, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so now I know for a fact that it's injecting the previous conversation when I ask it something new, because it remembered what it's done here. You can see, which is translate the entire PRD into Spanish, which is what we asked here, which is cool. Trying to propose an actual. Oh, so you're trying to do. Okay, interesting. Well, if you have any questions, let me know. Okay, I don't like it. Why does it say update? I don't want the button. I want the button to say update. I'd rather always have save, even though it has already been saved. Undo chat feature. What's I'm not sure what that is, but I'll just remove it. Chat history feature. So we've done that. Try to use chat assistant with reasoning model. We can do it later. It's not a must-have. It's a nice to have. Optimized assistant feature. I mean, I think it's fine for now. Reset password we've done. We've done authentication and registration. So yeah, we've got like a PDF export. I mean, maybe we could do Word doc also. Also, it just looks terrible. So maybe we can style it up a bit. Let's just ask. Okay, so for the export feature, I'm not sure what share does. I think it's pretty useless. I mean, if you want to share PRD, you can just drag and drop a PDF to someone. So remove the share feature, and for the export feature, make sure it's both PDF and docx formats, which I think are the two most common. So, and again, keep in mind that you could just, I'm doing it this specific way just because that's the way I want it to be, my PRD tool, but you can just customize it as much as you want. Somebody mentioned voice agents, which you can use 11 Labs to have it has a direct integration with Lovable. You get the 11 Labs API key, and maybe you can just click a button and say, instead of the assistant feature that I have, maybe you can just click a button, record your voice, and then it takes that text and somehow updates the PRD documents. That'd be cool. So what did I do here? Cool. Yeah, I removed the share feature, and that's horrible. It should have just been one button. Why has it done two buttons? It should just be one button. Export. That's when clicked, it shows both. Okay, until you write it down, I'm just going to continue here. So it's done our export function. Let's see. So we're supposed to export as PDF. Look horrible. Yep, looks horrible. Who cares? Docx. Well, the client cares, maybe. So where's our docx? There it is. So let's just let's just give it a prompt and say the PDF style and format is not professional. Make it look more professional and nice for my clients. Yeah. Okay, it should have done something with the PDF here. Make it look nicer. It's still horrible, but it's just to give you guys an idea that you can always tailor these things and refine them. If you think the PDF does not look great, that's fine. What we can do is, I can't be bothered right now, to be honest, but I'll maybe do it later. PDF doesn't look nice. I want to remove this. Like, this is just useless. In the chat page, remove this section. I want to remove that. And yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think that's fine. Open and edit, and I can edit my PRD here. For an MVP, I think this is not fine.